Thank you. Please be seated. Good morning, veterans, active duty men and women, honored guests, faculty, students. I'd like to welcome you to our 2023 Veterans Program. The first Veterans Day was declared a National Day of Remembrance by President Woodrow Wilson in 1919. We celebrate Veterans Day on the anniversary of the armistice that ended World War I. The armistice that began the 11th hour, the 11th day, the 11th month in 1918. In the years since, President Wilson made the 11th of November a National Day of Remembrance. The scope of this observance has changed from a day set aside to remember the fallen from one war to a day in which American veterans from all wars, as well as those who served in times of peace, could be honored. On Saturday, the 11th month, the 11th day, at the 11th hour, people throughout the country will gather to remember, to honor, and to pay gratitude to those who have served our country. Our gathering is one small way we can honor those who have made the ultimate sacrifice so that we may live in freedom. Your presence here today and that of the people gathering all across the country this Veterans Day is a tribute to those lost troops and to their families. It's a way we say we remember. Veterans, whether you served in peacetime or in war, our message at William Blount is simple. Thank you for your unwavering service. Thank you for the many sacrifices you endured so we may enjoy the many freedoms we as Americans have today. Thank you. At this time, please stand for the posting of our colors and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and our national anthem. Color Guard, post the colors.
Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets fled, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does
Please be seated.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we would like to recognize the veterans who have joined us today for the William Blount High School Annual Veterans Day celebration. The faculty and students, thank you for coming today. It is our goal to properly honor all that you have done for our nation, as well as recognize your families for their support. In the words of Harry Truman, our debt to the heroic men and valiant women in the service of our country can never be repaid. They have earned our undying gratitude. America will never forget their sacrifices. Now we would like to recognize our William Blount faculty and staff who have served in the nation's armed forces before taking the challenge of teaching high school. Ron Carbonneau, United States Air Force. Julie Cutler, United States Air Force. Douglas Fox, United States Air Force. Jeff Herrig, United States Navy. Jordan Henderson, United States Air Force. Carmela Lawson, United States Air Force. Adam McNair, United States Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now recognize members of each individual military branch, playing their song and displaying each service flag. If you are a veteran, please stand while your branch of the United States military and your outstanding service and sacrifice to your country is recognized. The United States Army flag carried by Ethan Hilliard.
Over hill, over dale, we have hit the dusty trail, and those gay songs go rolling along. In and out, hear them shout, counter march and ride your belt, and those gay songs go rolling along. Bullets high, high, he in the field artillery. Shout out your numbers, on and strong, for wherever you go, you will always know that those gay songs go rolling along.
The United States Marine flag carried by Cadet Dakota Moss.
Halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we will fight our country's battles in the air, on land and sea. First to fight for right and freedom, and to keep our honor clean. We are proud to claim the title of United States Marines.
The United States Navy flag carried by Cadet A.J. Shepard.
Anchors away, my boys, anchors away. Farewell to college shores, we sail at break of day. Through our last night on shore, drink to the flow, until we meet once more. Here's wishing you a happy voyage home.
The United States Coast Guard flag carried by Cadet Savannah Johnson.
We're always ready for the call. We place our trust in Thee, who servest
by Cadet D'Artagnan Barnhart.
Off we go into the wild blue yonder, flying high into the sun. Here they come to meet our thunder, and rise in the gun.
The United States Space Force flag carried by Cadet Riley Larson.
Off it was, terrible war. We live, run out in red. Ain't nothing can stop the U.S. Air Force.
The following performance will be an individual rifle exhibition demonstration by Cadet Gabriel Earl of the William Blount High School Air Force Junior ROTC Drill Team. Our honored guest speaker today is retired Air Force Colonel Paula Penson. Paula retired after 4 decades of service, from 1973 to 2015 as a colonel from the U.S. Air Force. Her initial job was as a nuclear missile maintenance technician. After completing her master's degree, she was promoted to an officer into the medical field as a health service administrator. Serving in the Reserve and Guard allowed her to work simultaneously on her civilian career. She was a faculty associate at Arizona State University and Maricopa County Colleges for 7 years before going into the private sector to practice what she taught, and is currently an adjunct faculty at Pellissippi State Community College in Knoxville, Tennessee. Her civilian positions have included management and development trainer, first-line supervisor and manufacturing plant, curriculum designer and nuclear power plant, instructor and curriculum design manager for the Department of the Navy, and senior health administrator. She accumulated her military career as a commander of a medical group at Joint Base Andrews, Maryland. Please help me welcome Colonel Paula Penson.
Thank you, Cadet. All right, so first we have to do the obligatory selfie. My grandchildren taught me how. Hang on 2 seconds. Here we go. Here we go. Where's my veteran? I can't do this very well. There we are. All right. Okay. They told me I had to. Okay. What I want to do is start out with, I remember the 9th grade. Is the 9th grade here? Yay! Oh, you've got the good seats. In 9th grade, we had an assembly very similar for Career Day. And there was an Army lady recruiter who came and talked about joining the Army and the GI Bill for college, to pay for college. That was in 9th grade. 4 years later, when I was a senior, I thought, now what do I do? I had gotten straight A's. I had done really well in school, but we were dirt poor. We had no money in my family. But I wanted to go to college because, you see, my mom said, and I always believed my mom, the only guaranteed road out of poverty was education. The only way to break the cycle was to get a degree. So I remembered that 9th grade lady sergeant. So one day on my lunch break, I went down to the recruiting office where they had the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines all in one building, right? 4 desks, right? They're all nodding, they know. They did it. And I walked in, and it was lunchtime, so there was only one person sitting there. And I said, "Where's that Army sergeant lady?" And he said, "Well, she's not here right now, but I can help you." He was the Air Force. So, ladies and gentlemen, I joined the Air Force because the Army was out to lunch. True story. As the cadet said, I was the first female nuclear missile maintenance technician in the history of the Air Force, 1973. The Air Force was only 26 years old when I joined. And now all of you who just did the math, and you're all thinking, oh, she can't possibly be that old? Thank you. All right, we're going to get along. But today what I want to do is I want to share 3 things. A little bit more about my 4 decades of military service. Then I want to tell you a story about my favorite military veteran. And finally, I'm going to leave you with a challenge. Yeah, it's about you today. It's not just about us. All right? All right, you ready? So a little bit more about my story. I was a military enlisted member for 23 years before I became an officer. I had not been an officer very long when 9/11 happened. When 2001 happened, I immediately went to my reserve unit and volunteered to be deployed. There were so many volunteers, I had to wait 3 years for my turn. There were so many people ready to serve their country. We were ticked. We were angry. And we had already volunteered to wear this uniform, and we would be there, whatever it took. So after 3 years, I got my shot. And on September 1st, 2004, I was riding in a C-141 cargo airplane on my way to Ramstein Air Base, Germany. It was the air evacuation hub. And this is where we went and picked up injured Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, and civilians out of Iraq and Afghanistan. And we brought them back to Germany to Landstuhl Army Medical Center. On the way there, though, in that C-141, 3 o'clock in the morning, we're about 2 hours from land, and the loadmaster comes to me. I was a major at the time, and he says, "Ma'am, I need you to take charge of the passengers on the aircraft. You're the highest ranking member here." And I went, "Why would I do that?" He said, "We've lost an engine and we're going in the drink." And I don't know about you, but I know what it means to say going in the drink. And I said, "Are you serious, Sergeant?" He said, "Yes, ma'am. We've lost an engine and we're pretty sure we're not going to make it to landfall." Okay, then. All right. Yes, I signed on for this. This is September over the Atlantic. If the crash doesn't kill us, the freezing cold ocean waters was going to. I never ever travel without a Bible. And that day I reached down into my backpack sitting next to me, and we were in the jump seats in a C-141. We were on either side of the aircraft. There were 9 children on that flight. Families were allowed to jump on military aircraft if they were military dependents and fly to Germany from Washington, D.C. We had 10 adults and 9 children, and I was in charge. And I said to them, actually I said nothing. I raised up my Bible, I made eye contact with all of the adults. I put my hand in the praying position, because they didn't hear what the sergeant said, but they knew it was serious, or he wouldn't wake us up at 3 o'clock in the morning. And so we literally started praying individually together across that ocean. About an hour later, the sergeant loadmaster came back to me and he said, "Ma'am, I don't know what happened. The pilots don't know what happened. But the engine came back on." Whew. There are no atheists in a foxhole, people. And we prayed that aircraft to Ramstein Air Base, Germany, where I served for the next 6 months. And we transported 6,200 injured Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, and civilians back to safety, and we did not lose one. But now I want to tell you about my favorite veteran. When my daughter was 17 years old, a senior in high school, where are my seniors? All right, there's some, all right. When she was a senior in high school, she came to me and she said, "Mom, I think I want to join the Air Force." And I said, "Why would you do that?" I had never talked to my kids about joining the military. I'd just done it for so many years. And she said, "You look like you're having fun." Good answer. So I sent her off to the recruiter, and she became a combat medic. She came home and told me she was going to be a medic, and I said, "Can you do that?" I pass out at the sight of blood. She goes, "I love that blood and gut stuff." I said, "Good for you. It ain't me. You didn't get it from me." So she served very honorably with her service, and right after 9/11, she too volunteered to go downrange. And I was her deployment officer. I had to issue her combat helmet, flak vest, and an M16. And as we sat there the night before she was going to go get on an aircraft to go down to Iraq, Baghdad, Iraq, January 2004, we packed up her suitcase. We made sure she had everything plus her combat gear. And we sat on the side of the bed, a mother talking to her daughter. And she said, "Mom, what if I die? How will you handle it?" You see, she knew my 17-year-old son died 7 years earlier on his way home from football practice in a car accident. And I thought about it for a minute because she was serious. She didn't know if I could handle losing a second child. And I said, "I would much rather lose a child serving her country, doing something greater than herself, than to a stupid, senseless car accident. So you do you, and do us proud. And she got on that plane, and I told her, stay in the green zone. We had not even found Saddam Hussein yet by that time. And she went, and she served. And terrorists do not recognize the Red Cross of a medic. So she had to wear that combat helmet, that flak vest, and carry that M16 everywhere she went for 6 months. I didn't know until after she got back how close she came to dying. There was a rocket that hit their tent city 2 tents over from her and knocked her off her cot. She was the first responder to the tent that was hit with 1 Marine and 2 airmen in it. She was great. She always told me, Mom, don't watch TV for the next couple of days during that 6 months, because that would be when the bombings happened in her tent area. On June 1st, 2004, I got a voicemail on my phone. I'm driving home from work in Washington, D.C. And I reached over and pushed the button to listen, and it said, Mama, I'm home! And doing 75 miles an hour, I pulled off to the side of the road of Interstate 495, and I just laid my head down and cried like a baby. I didn't realize how much tension I had carried with worrying about her for 6 months. Yes, I'm military, but first, I'm a mom. She just retired this year after 28 years of service as a Chief Master Sergeant, and at her promotion ceremony to Chief, she looked at me and said, Mom, neener, I made Chief and you didn't. She was determined to beat me. Well done. She is still and always will be my favorite veteran. But now it's about you. This is not just about this group right here. It's not about anybody in a uniform. It's about you. What do we need you to do? First, I need you to understand only 1% of Americans join the military. 1. Did you know that? Only 1% join the military. Do the math. That leaves 99. And that's you. That's you. I want to leave you with a challenge. I challenge you to build a great country, because there's 99% of you and only 1% of us. I challenge you to serve, teach, inspire, learn, listen, love, and lead from wherever you sit. At my son's funeral, a young man walked up to me and said, when Alex was 13, we were in a small group of kids together. We hung out. And the leader, the acknowledged leader of this little clique of boys, 13-year-old boys, said, let's go spray paint an empty house. And my son said, oh, I don't think so. What my son exhibited that day was personal leadership. He was 13. I heard so many stories that day about my son's personal leadership. I didn't know my son was so cool until 200 kids, teenagers, waited in line to tell me an Alex story. You can display leadership. It doesn't matter your age. In this day and age with social media and with bullying going on, you have to stand tall. And it takes courage. You think it takes courage to go downrange? I think it takes more courage nowadays just to be a teenager. So you hang tough, all right? I challenge you. If you didn't figure it out, I just gave you an acronym so you remember what to do. Be still. Be brave each day. Serve, teach, inspire, learn, listen, love, and lead. Lead from wherever you sit. America needs you to build a country. And I want you to take that responsibility seriously, because we do. Ladies and gentlemen, when life gets hard, there's one thing left to do. Get up, suit up, and show up each and every day. And when you get there, when you get up and you show up, I want you to serve, teach, inspire, learn, listen, and lead. And if you can do all of those things, you're too busy to get in trouble. All right? All right, stand tall, be strong. You build a country and we'll take care of it for you. All right, that's what we've signed up to do. Every veteran signed a blank check to the citizens of the United States of America in the amount of everything I've got to give, up to and including my life. And I'd do it again. Today, I will leave you with my favorite Irish blessing. May God keep you in his capable hands. May the sun shine on your face. May the wind be at your back. And may we all be in heaven half an hour before the devil knows we're gone. Out.
I am the flag of the United States of America. I was born on June 14, 1777, in Philadelphia. 50 stars signal from my union, one for each of the 50 sovereign states in the greatest constitutional republic the world has ever known. I am a living symbol of my nation's law, the Constitution of the United States, and the Bill of Rights. I am displayed in every schoolroom throughout my nation. Every schoolyard has a flagpole for my display. As you see me silhouetted against the peaceful skies of my country, remind yourself that I am the flag of your country, that I stand for what you are, no more, no less. Guard me well, lest your freedom perish from the earth. Dedicate your lives to those principles for which I stand. One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The flag folding ceremony represents the same principles on which our country was originally founded. The portion of the flag denoting honor is the canton of blue containing the stars representing the states our veterans served in uniform. The canton field of blue dresses from left to right and is inverted when draped as a pall on a casket of a veteran who has served our country in uniform. In the armed forces of the United States, at the ceremony of retreat, the flag is lowered, folded in a triangle fold, and kept under watch throughout the night as a tribute to our nation's honored dead. The next morning, it is brought out and at the ceremony of Reveille, run aloft as a symbol of our belief in the resurrection of the body. The first fold stands for liberty. The white stripes of the flag symbolize our liberty. The second fold represents unity. National unity in the face of natural disasters and external threats has preserved our constitutional republic. The third fold stands for justice. The blue of the flag embodies justice. The fourth fold symbolizes perseverance. The Continental Army persevered during the brutal winter at Valley Forge in 1777. The fifth fold represents hardiness. The aggressors in World War II underestimated American hardiness, but we withstood difficulties and emerged victorious. The sixth fold stands for valor. The red color in the flag represents valor, symbolic of the blood shed by all the American heroes who sacrificed for our freedom. The seventh fold symbolizes purity. A pure nation is free from taint, from what weakens, pollutes, or renders it ineffective. The eighth fold represents innocence. Innocence implies that one is unacquainted with evil and is thus free from sin. The ninth fold signifies sacrifice. We pay tribute to the firefighters, policemen, members of our armed forces, and numerous others who continue to sacrifice for freedom. The 10th fold stands for honor. We give thanks for all who have acted with honor in the founding and growth of America. The 11th fold symbolizes independence. America stands as an icon of freedom and independence for the oppressed of the world. May it always remain so. The 12th fold represents truth. America was built upon God-given truths articulated in the Declaration of Independence. Adherence to these truths has made America a great nation. When the flag is completely folded, the stars are uppermost, reminding us of our national motto, "In God We Trust." After the flag is completely folded and tucked in, it takes on the appearance of a cocked hat, ever reminding us of the soldiers who helped establish this great nation, who are followed by their comrades and shipmates in the armed forces of the United States, preserving for us the rights, privileges, and freedoms we enjoy today.
I don't remember if I ever said thank you. I remember seeing you in uniforms at parades, at ceremonies, in the airport. You always looked unafraid and heroic. I remember the way you would salute the flag with such precision.
I waved at you one time. You were marching in a parade, your gaze determined, unwavering, straight ahead. You didn't see me. I know you probably wouldn't, but I waved anyway.
I remember your humility, the way you would play, the band they would play for you. You would reluctantly stand, modestly, often not wanting to be singled out.
I remember the way you wore your hat, the way the light would hit the metal on your uniform. I remember the sound of your boots when they hit the ground.
But I don't remember if I ever said thank you. I probably didn't because it seems so strange to thank someone you don't know. That shouldn't have stopped me. It didn't stop you. You were willing to give the ultimate sacrifice for someone that you didn't even know.
You didn't know if I had brown eyes or blue, if I was young or old, if I was tall or short. Not that it would have changed anything. You were willing to spend time away from your friends, your family, your country to defend me, no matter who I was. You fought to protect my freedom.
To uphold my right to vote, my freedom to worship.
To speak my mind without fear.
You fought so that I could have the privilege to live life to its fullest. I like to think that we may have been friends. Maybe we held the same values and beliefs, hopes and dreams.
But maybe we didn't. You may not have liked me. I may have chosen different ideas to follow and other things to pursue. But you fought for my right to disagree with you. Because you believed in something greater than yourself. Freedom. Freedom for all.
Your sacrifice and selfless acts exemplify the gospel. You deserve a hero's reward. But I don't really know what that is. And I don't know how to give it to you.
Your sacrifice has changed my life. It's still changing my life. And I don't remember if I ever told you that.
Somehow, it doesn't seem enough, but I wanted to make sure that you knew that I know this country, my freedom would not exist without you. And I want to make sure that I said thank you.
Thank you.
For the next portion of the ceremony, we ask everyone to exercise respectful silence as we honor American prisoners of war and those missing in action. As you entered the gym this morning, you may have noticed a small table in the place of honor. It is set for one. This table is our way of symbolizing the fact that members of our profession of arms are missing from the midst. They are commonly called POWs or MIAs, but we call them brothers. They are unable to be with us this morning, and so we remember them. Let us remember the men and women prisoners of war from all branches of service that are too often forgotten. The table set for one is small, symbolizing the frailty of one prisoner alone against his oppressors. Remember. The tablecloth is white, symbolizing the purity of their intentions to respond to their country's call of arms. Remember. A single red rose displayed in the vase reminds us of the families and loved ones of our comrades in arms who keep the faith awaiting their return. Remember. The red ribbon tied so prominently on this vase is reminiscent of the red ribbon worn on the lapel and breasts of thousands who bear witness to their unyielding determination to demand a proper accounting for the missing. Remember. The candle is lit, symbolizing the upward reach of the unconquerable spirit. Remember. A slice of lemon is on the bread plate to remind us of their bitter fate. Remember. There is salt upon the bread plate, symbolic of their families' tears as they wait. Remember. The glass is inverted. They cannot toast with us this day. Remember. The chair. The chair is empty. They are not here. Remember. Remember. all of you who served with them and called them comrades, who depended upon their might and aid and relied upon them, for surely they have not forsaken you. Remember. Remember until the day they come home. Remember.
Please stand for a moment of silence. Please be seated. I'd like to take the time to thank our Culinary Arts Department for feeding the honored guests today. Thank you, Culinary Arts. I'd like to thank the band, the choir, our theater department. I'd like to thank our Air Force Junior ROTC as well. Cadets, excellent job. Veterans, again, thank you for your service. Thank you for being here for our students. At this time, if you would stand so we can retire the colors. Thank you. I would also like to thank our audiovisual department for recording our program today, and I would be remiss if I didn't thank our speaker today, Colonel Paula Penson. Thanks very much.